and welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever here on the Sideshow Network. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
And I'm Sean.
And we're here.
We're here all right.
We've somehow made it here.
We're fine. We're here now. Fine.
At the moment. Fine.
So, all right. Let's enjoy. We're only going to do one today because we only have capacity to do one.
I only have a little bit of funny juice.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm not that funny usually.
And look, to be honest, I've been sort of thinking about this, like the capacity to do 2 comics every week is kind of, I mean,
sometimes we do it pretty well.
Sometimes
some days we don't.
Some days we don't, and I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I feel like some people, because we could stretch, like we are kind of right now, stretch one comic to like almost an hour.
Oh, we absolutely can. We've done it before.
We could do that.
Yeah.
We have plenty to say.
Yeah.
But I debate because I always hear people say like, well, no, podcasts need to be short, podcasts need to be long. There's a lot of back and forth about that.
I think it's really a personal preference.
Well, it's always a personal preference. I mean, podcasts in general are just a personal preference.
Yeah. If
you think there's something that you like and you want to commit to it, that's what you commit to. A lot of times, you don't have to do it. I feel, a lot of people commit to certain networks or certain programs just because out of peer pressure.
Well,
I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I think it's more like, I think your personal commute or whatever you personally are doing while you're listening to podcasts has a big impact on if you like short podcasts or long podcasts.
Yeah.
So like, let's say you're like, I only want to listen to podcasts when I'm working out and I only work out for 45 minutes. So you're going to look for something that's only that length.
Yeah.
That's within your interests.
Yeah.
If you're like, fuck it, if
you don't want to download
sitting at my desk for 8 hours, I need to listen to something. So you're going to listen to maybe a Gilmore Guys that is 3 fucking hours long. They're always 3 fucking hours long.
Yeah.
Which to me is too long for podcasts. But so I mean, I think it just depends on how you personally want to consume this sort of media.
Yeah. And I think there's some people that because there's shows like Mike Rowe's show, which is only like 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
And he does he's very, very good at it. Yeah. But it's,
it's a short thing.
It's just a short thing, and that's just how he handles it. And, it's his preference. But, I mean, regardless, we're going to stretch it out. So, comic book talk starts now. Now. I promise. All-Star Comics is our book today. All-Star Comics number 72 from June 1978. This is actually the continuation of the original All-Star Comics from like the 40s, and they just continued doing they just continued doing a numbering from it from from in the 70s because they brought back like the Justice Society, and it was pretty much like a Justice Society book. Although it did give us Power Girl.
Yes, it did.
Power Girl. I think she debuted in this book in the 70s, and. And she's in this book. So it's All-Star Comics presents the legendary Justice Society of America. And on the cover we have, it is the JSA reunited in disaster. And we have Thorn, of Rose and Thorn fame.
Yes, who's been on this show before.
Has she?
Yeah, we did a comic book with she was on.
Was that Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I think so.
Was that one of her Wonder Womans we did?
I think it was one of the Wonder Womans that we did. I think that's right.
It was a long time ago.
Yes, it was.
I don't remember her being like a primary character in the book we did with her, but maybe she was in it.
I don't know. I know she was in it because I know there was talk about because this is back, the Rose and the Thorn that we're talking about today is fully aware that she is 2 people. Two. The one that we talked about before did not realize that she would turn into Thorn during the evening.
Was it?
Yeah, I think.
I'm trying to remember because I feel like I vaguely do remember it.
Yeah, I feel like it was that Wonder Woman, but
it was maybe our first Wonder Woman we ever did.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Or maybe it was, but it was from was it from the 80s?
I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest with
I'm
you.
going to go back and check because I'm curious. Now I'm curious.
I feel like,
we've done a lot of episodes.
I know we have. Like over 100. It's hard to remember what we did. It's also hard to remember if I'm like, wait, am I just talking about a book I read that we haven't done on the show?
It's very possible because you know what? No, you know what? I think that might be the case because it sounds like something we would talk about,
right? Well, I only read terrible comic books. So
no, we're legit. We don't just like find a book.
No,
and
I'm not like, I'm gonna go read decent comic books. No, I am only reading the shit. So it's possible that we haven't talked about it yet.
We have horrible taste.
We really do.
We are really bad.
Our culture tastes are terrible.
And cultural tastes.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
I mean, or let's say they're not bad. They're just not what other people like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be like, man, The Dark Knight Returns. That's what I'm reading when I'm not on this show. That's not fucking true. I'm reading this bullshit when I'm not reading stuff.
I mean, look, Look, here's the thing. I'll read, your Blackest Nights. I'll read, your classic Avenger stories. I'll read there's stuff that I'm interested in, and I'll find it. I really want to read your Infinity Gauntlet. The Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, I want to read Vision. There's a lot of stuff that I want to read that's new and current or just classic stuff that exists, but I just can't help but to just kind of find my niche and find what I dig just by reading these comics.
Yeah,
so,
these really bad ones.
So that being said, on the cover we got Thorn, and she's like, "Taste the poison of the thorn, Wildcat, and die."
Oh no!
Taste and die.
So, and Wildcat's like Wildcat, and then there's the Flash.
Well, basically what's happened is so Thorn is
she uses basically her thorn to scratch Wildcat on.
She's using her thorn. He's actually pinned. This doesn't happen in the book.
He is pinned. You're
right. He's pinned in multiple ways to a brick wall. It's somehow she managed to get his tight leotard and find just enough material to pin him to the wall, and she's slashing him with another one of her thorns, which apparently are loaded with poison and nutrients. Where does
she keep all those things?
I don't know, because she doesn't have a lot of clothes.
Right? And she doesn't have a pocket.
Maybe she's got one of those cape pockets like
Superman
Clark,
has to put his Clark Kent clothes.
His change of clothes, yeah. He flies around with a big lump on his back, That's what he does. But anyways, in the background we have we got Flash, we got Power Girl, we got Huntress, and we got Alan Scott, Green Lantern. So,
yes.
The story is called "A Thorn by Any Other Name." Haha. And basically, we start off with some dead cop.
Oh no! And everybody what I love about this panel is it's just everybody standing around with literally everyone has their hands on their hips in this panel. And they're just staring at a guy covered by a sheet.
I don't think
except Huntress, she's the only one. Look at everybody else, Power Girl. Yeah. And all of them.
Even
the police chief,
the policeman, yeah.
And they're like, Thorn has never killed. This wasn't usually her thing, but now she's starting to kill cops.
Time to kill, yeah. And for a second, I thought this was blood, but it's just the Flash's boots.
Oh,
so Flash as in Jay Garrick. So
yes,
just as you know, and so basically, this cop is like
the chief, I guess,
or he's like or
the
commissioner or whatever.
Some guy.
He's one of the big guys, and he's like, she's killing, and we gotta stop because she doesn't kill before, and never really, and Flash is like, I didn't know she was that deadly. I'm like, her name is Thorn, and basically, they're like, well, it's not the same Thorn. It's a different chick.
Yeah.
We need to figure this out. I do like that there's this drawing here of this police guy. He's smoking, but then Thorn comes up, is like a apparition
in the background. So he's thing about her.
And apparently she's so into Keystone City because that's where they're based out of.
Yeah.
That basically.
Well, they make a really funny distinction here is because they're just Thorn's killing, not only is she killing cops, she's killing good cops who would stop her from taking over the city.
Yeah, she's killing the Jim Gordons of the world.
Which means that there's a bunch of bad ones who would just let her go?
Yeah.
And that's okay somehow.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because the guy's just the good cops. Power Girl's from what you're saying here, she's ready to off the whole force, and he's just the good ones, the ones stopping her from taking over Keystone And
I'm like, if you're the commissioner, shouldn't you be like weeding out the bad cops who would allow her?
Oh, this guy. Yeah, this guy. He's
No,
like,
he's
look,
just
I know
"Oh,
bad
it's fine,
cops,
dude,
but
it's
you know
fine."
what?
Fuck it, they're fine.
Fuck it, you know.
They're fine.
Trump's America. Sorry, we're gonna. You're gonna get a little bit of it. You're gonna get a little bit of it. So deal with it. I'm sorry, guys. I love you. First of all, like I was like, I love each one of you listeners.
Oh yes, we
all
do.
100, 200 of you. No, yeah, there's more of you. I'm just kidding. But but I mean,
But we have to laugh so we will not cry.
yes. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, he's killing off the good cops, preventing her from taking over Keystone City and renaming it Crime City. Da, da, da. I'm like, Crime City.
Why? If you were a bad guy, why would you ever rename your place Crime City? Like, why? That doesn't even make sense.
Crime City sounds like a Cinemax.
Oh yeah,
movie, but it doesn't have a lot of nudity, but there is at least one strip club scene.
Oh, there's
and
totally.
at least one stripper being chased.
Is Emmanuel in it?
Oh no, it's not softcore. No, it's not softcore, but there are boobs.
Oh okay.
Yeah, but she's not. It's not like there's not like a bone in.
Oh okay.
Maybe there's
maybe there's simulated boning. There's not actual.
Well, that's not. I'm not saying it's porn, but there's some. Maybe a little bit of. Maybe there's like one bone in scene. But it's not erotic.
It's one of those movies that's like an excuse to show boobs.
Yeah, like there's an excuse. Like there's definitely, like I said, there's definitely a strip club scene.
Yeah,
there's definitely a scene where this guy goes, "Is this Crime City?" He's like, "No, it's a strip club." It's like, "All right, give me a beer."
And there's definitely like those classic horror movie scenes where it's like the girl gets home and like has to take a shower.
Oh yeah, there's definitely
there's
yeah,
totally
you know what?
one of those.
If there's not a strip club scene, there's definitely a shower scene.
There has to be.
If it's not a girl that's about to get killed, it's also the tough as nails female detective.
Oh yeah, well she's got to change in the locker room.
She's got to change,
and we got to watch her take her stuff off.
We got to see that.
It's kind of like that scene. There's a great scene, and there's a horror movie called Slaughter High, which I highly recommend. It's an '80s horror movie, and it's so fucking stupid because it's made in the UK with British actors.
It's a British American co-production, and basically
all of the actors are British except like one.
I don't even know if I think it's all British people.
And they're all trying to do American accents, some with limited, with differing amounts
on a scale.
of
Okay, and let's put it this way: on a scale of, so the worst being, the worst being Jonathan Rhys Meyers and Dracula.
Yes.
The best being, who's got the best one?
Hugh Laurie, maybe.
Henry Cavill.
He does all right. Yeah, he's not bad. I don't know if he's like the best, but he's okay.
There's got to be a better one.
I'm sure
I know there's a better one. But anyways, well, if you're, but see, so it's more towards. We're talking more towards Jonathan Rhys Meyers because it's like
there's some characters where they only get like 4 or 5 lines and they can barely get through them.
Oh, they're blowing it. That's why they got those lines. Anyways, it's a crazy movie.
But there is this ridiculous scene in it where one of the women.
Oh yes.
So like they go to this high school that's obviously been closed down for like at least 5 years, and it's like really gross and dusty and covered in cobwebs and whatever, and everybody's creeped out by it. But for some reason, this woman's like, "Oh, I have schmutz on me. I'm gonna sit down in the bathtub that hasn't been
what
used
happens
for
is
6 years."
What happens is some guy drinks a beer and he explodes.
Oh,
okay.
That's right.
This what happens. So she's like, "Oh my god!" Freaks out, and so she just runs and she finds a random bathroom that just looks like a regular bathroom with a tub in it.
It's a tub, and you're like, "What?" And it's supposed to be the girls' locker room, and you're like, "What high school?"
No, it's like a single tub.
Has a single tub in it.
It's a single tub. It's like literally walking. It's like they went and said, "I guess we're in the bathroom now."
Yeah, and like so, basically, this entire scene exists for A, for her to get killed, and B, for her to sit there and show tits.
To have a fully nude bath.
She might be in her underwear, I think. I don't remember, but it's just an excuse to show tits because there's no reason anyone would be like, "I'm going to sit down in this tub that nobody's used for 5 years, and it's covered in disgusting grossness."
I wouldn't sit down in a tub that I haven't used for a month.
I know. I'm like, dude, you got to clean that shit, but nope.
Yeah. Clean your bathroom.
Anyway, boo movies.
Okay, so anyway, so what's her face? So they're back to full force. So JSA is they're like, we could do this, and Huntress, because the Huntress apparently joined.
Yep.
And you got Skyman or Star Spangled Kid.
Yeah, she replaced somebody. It says she replaced, I think, Star Spangled Kid.
Oh yes, that's right. She replaced Skyman. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they have this scene of like apparently them being them voting for it.
Yeah, and everybody's like high-fiving.
Well, it's like so Flash is kind of doing looks like Jim Carrey be like, alrighty then, you know, and like in the background, like like Wildcat's like like he's just pumping his fist, and everybody seems so happy.
Yeah, everybody's happy to have Huntress join the JSA.
Anyway, so then there's a report of an attack at a courthouse, and
yeah, they're like, oh, it's Thorne's people. They're trying to get Judge so and so. We gotta go. So they head over that way.
And so then we also get an aside here, apparently.
Where Carter and Shaira Hall are in Egypt doing archaeology.
Yeah.
And they're, smarts and whatever. And Hawkman is going to go back to check on everybody to see... Why are you biting me? To see if everybody's okay.
But it's also funny because he takes this moment to put on just his costume, and he's just like, look at my costume!
No, he's like, Shaira, this is the one you designed. And he, puts it on, and then she says something like, why is that shadow crossing you? And then that's it. And it just says, you're not going to find out about that. There's, a little box that just says,
excellent question, but it shall go unanswered. Well, fine.
Shall go unanswered. Yeah. Back to...
Well, Shadow Thief. Okay, it's Shadow Thief.
Yeah.
Thief. Shadow Thief.
Thief.
So now we're back to...
the city. They're trying to save the judge.
So Thorne has these guys that are dressed like. Have you ever seen Marvel's Plant Man? They look like that's what they look like.
Yeah, they look like lizards.
They look like green dummies.
If anybody went to see, I don't know if this preview played in front of Doctor Strange everywhere, but that terrible.
The Great Wall.
The Great Wall. It kind of. I imagine this is what those monsters that are coming over the Great Wall.
It's just guys,
little lizard dudes.
They basically look like
those
guys.
Are lizards, right? Not what the fuck are they supposed to be?
What Thorne did was she hired a bunch of guys that just act as extras on green screens.
Oh yeah.
So they're basically just
are they Andy Serkis?
It's Andy. She cloned Andy Serkis,
but they're shitty ones.
Yeah, she cloned a bunch of Andy Serkises, and only when he was wearing his thing. And now she's like, hey, I need you to commit crimes and rough up dudes. And they're like, yo. Anyway, so they're roughing up this judge, and the folks show up in time, and the JSA shows up in time, and they're they're taking care of business. But just as everything stops,
yeah,
and then Thorne just is on top of the roof, and she just shoots a dart through this guy's
she's got poison-tipped thorns, and so she kills the judge, or she hits him with poison, so he collapses.
Yeah,
and then
he did because it's poison. It's
fast acting, and so Wildcat and everybody starts fighting again.
Fight.
And Wildcat goes up to get to Thorne.
I do hear that when Green Lantern.
Oh, that's right. Because
his ring has a weakness to wood.
That's right. So he has trouble combating her.
Her stuff is wood based, apparently.
Well, yeah, she's kind of like a poison ivy almost.
Yeah.
Except she doesn't have nearly as much control.
Well, she doesn't have control over plants
over as much plants, but she does have.
She has a plant-based. She's a plant-based fighter.
Yeah, she's a plant-based villain, just not as much as poison.
Plant-based villains. One of DC's strengths.
So he's having problems fighting her, but they eventually Wildcat fights his way over to Thorne, and he goes to grab her. It kind of looks like he's trying to grab her tit.
It actually 100% looks like he's trying to grab her tit.
100% looks like he's just reaching out to just go honk honk.
Because his hand is completely over. It's clearly he's not on it, but it looks like he's
It really, the way it's drawn, he really, if she moves 2 centimeters to the left, he'll have a handful of boob.
Yeah.
But she hits him with her little spiky thorn thing, and it's just a scratch, but it's fast acting, so he collapses.
Yeah, no, he's.
So they're like, oh my god, we have to fucking get Wildcat to the hospital right now. So that's what they do, and then they stand around and talk about it, and Huntress, who is fucking Batman's daughter. Right?
In this universe, yes.
This is Helena Wayne Huntress. This is Batman's daughter. This is Catwoman's daughter. This bitch should be tough as shit. All she does this book is cry.
Cry,
weep through her mask.
Weeping over her mask giant pools of water.
It just looks like a fucking waterfall.
Yes.
And she's not only that, but she's super ready to give up on everything. She's like, that's it. He's dead.
Yeah, because they're sitting there like, oh, we never had anybody die before, but I guess this is gonna happen.
And she's like, you're right. And it like, and people are like, it's okay, Huntress. Like, there's always darkness before the dawn or whatever. She's like, no, like just wailing. She's like, oh God, first my dad and now him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, your mom died too, right? Like, are we just not going to mention that? That's cool. Whatever. Let's just, fucking plow past one of the most important characters in your life so we can talk about you crying over
That's right. I forgot when you get done mentioning your dad at first. I was like, oh, that's right.
Yeah. And I love these old books really go out of their way to make sure everybody knows that she's Batman's daughter, but they go extra out of their way to make sure Catwoman is never mentioned. Because we have talked about this on the show before. There's another one where we're talking about Earth 2 Helena Wayne Huntress, and it just says your mother. Remember, it was the one where Batman's like remember the issue we read where Batman is like in front of the gravestones of his parents?
Oh, that's what.
And he's like, and it only mentions it's just like her mother. And I'm like, oh, you mean fucking Catwoman? Like one of the best female villains, or
one of the most iconic female villains that DC has.
Yeah, one of Batman's most important rogues ever.
It's not like he just married some Debbie from accounting.
Exactly. Yeah, it wasn't Karen from finance. Like, this is fucking Catwoman, and they like go out of their way to make sure they never mention it.
Debbie Wayne.
I don't know if this is during the time when they kind of had. I don't think it is. I have that Catwoman 75-year thing that they put out after people bitched about the fact that they weren't recognizing Catwoman's 75th anniversary.
Yeah.
And there is something in there where she...
Is that really what they did? They just went like, fine, fuck it, here's a book.
Yeah, they weren't going to do anything. So here's a book. But there is something in there, and I don't remember the exact dates, where Catwoman was not in the DC universe at all. She just disappeared. And fans just kept talking enough that she came back. And I don't know if this is during the time, but I think she's already back by now. I don't really know for sure.
Okay.
Anyway.
So it's funny. Well, not funny, because poor Wildcat. So the judge dies.
Yep. R.I.P.
Wildcat is holding on for life. The doctor's like, well, we might be able to save him. They're like, well, we could try, but apparently he has some sort of brain injury that is keeping him from having...
This didn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Because doesn't he say like the reason he's not dead is because he had the brain injury?
Well, they're saying the reason he's not dead is because he had a brain injury, but it's keeping them from making him better. And apparently, they fought Icicle and some other issue of this book, and the frost ray took over his mind, and it made him like seem like he was getting like Alzheimer's kinda or punch drunk.
Sure.
That was a thing.
I guess.
Instead of just freezing him, just made him dementia.
I guess. But then they also said, like, if they can't fix it, he might just, like, be in a coma until he dies.
I like Huntress here. She's like, please tell the truth and hope to God you tell me he's beaten the Reaper. I'm like, beaten the Reaper? I've never heard anybody say that.
No one has said that. No one has ever said that, except Huntress, and she is a pain in the ass.
I want to find a way. It's like, I'm going to beat the Reaper. Which actually sounds really cool, but this is just... it's being wasted in this all-star comics.
Is Black Sabbath going to come back together and just do a "Don't Beat the Reaper" song?
You mean Boy Bluester quote?
Sure, them too.
That's who wrote that song.
No, I know, but I want Black Sabbath.
Oh, you want Black Sabbath to do it? Oh,
yeah.
Well, maybe they just got done releasing an album and stuff. They're Ozzy's old.
Is Ozzy dead yet?
No, he's not.
Well, that's good.
Why do I sound like I'm upset that he's not dead?
No, we're not upset. It's just that so many British musicians have died this year that.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to keep track of which ones are, like, all the musicians are dying.
R.I.P. People in music.
Yeah. Like, fucking Leonard Cohen's dead.
Well, he's not British.
He's not British, he's Canadian. But, like, all the musicians are dying.
Yeah, Leon Russell. R.I.P.
R.I.P. So, I got to check to make sure Ozzy's still alive, because he's old.
He's alive.
And he did a lot of drugs.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're like, beat the Reaper, blah, and then they're like, well, we'll see if we can... so the doctor's like, well, maybe that might work. So let's go to we need a sample of the chemicals that Thorne uses, which I'm like, well, let's just get it out of the dead body of the judge.
Yeah.
I mean,
right? Like, it should be in his blood.
Yeah, there's like, oh no, we actually need like a thorn and stuff. And then
they also need like the cold gun that Icicle used.
Right, and so in that case, they're like, because Huntress is just being...
Nobody wants to talk to her.
She's being useless, and they're like, you know what? Why don't you
go back to Gotham?
Here, hold my beer.
Yeah, go back to...
you're going to file these papers.
Yeah, they're like, go back to Gotham and find the gun. And she's like, and they're like, nope. And so Green Lantern like puts her in a bubble and like sends her away.
I actually kind of like that. He's like, yeah, you know what? Do this.
Do the thing.
It'll be good. She's like, and they're like...
They're like, we can't possibly work with Huntress right now. She's just a disaster.
We gotta get her off, and he just shoves her out of this. I don't know how he gets her out of this building because they're in a room.
I didn't realize that lantern rings could do this, but apparently they can in this world.
Lantern rings could do a lot,
where they can just put somebody in a bubble and like take them to another city.
It's like a subway, but in the air. It's called an airplane.
It's like an airplane, just with Green Lantern bubbles.
I like it.
It would have been funnier if they showed him like kicking it.
He's like, and she's like, I want to stay here. And they're like, no, go back to Gotham and get our freeze gun from our trophy room.
Yeah.
Do it.
It's next to the heat gun.
Next to the heat gun, it's also next to
the nail gun.
The candy dish that
with ribbon candy.
It's next to a ribbon. Yeah, because they're old.
Yeah,
because of JSA and they enjoy ribbon candy. It's like, make sure the ribbon candy is full.
If it's not old enough, you'll be able to get it out of the bowl. We want to make sure you can't get it out of the bowl, so we are absolutely old.
If there's any Werthers, I also want you to bring. we need to refill a Werther. So I'm going to send you to the store first, to the Gotham Mart.
Gothmart.
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 Because I did a Gothmart, which I wish that was a thing.
I wish Gothmart was a thing.
I wish that was a thing in Fox's Gotham.
Fox's Gotham has that actually, which I think is one of my favorite things. It's that amazing warehouse where you go and buy weapons.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's that thing, and it's hilarious because it's got like people wearing like Home Depot vests and like an overhead speaker on like attention shoppers.
Doesn't Ben Grimm goes there, doesn't he? And he starts like bullying people around.
I think he does.
That's all that Michael Chiklis or whatever. What's his name?
Michael Chiklis.
Well, I know what's the character's name?
Oh, Commissioner
Barnes. Barnes.
Sure, I call him Ben Grimm.
I know. I just call him Ben.
So I don't know his actual.
That's all he does on that show is bully people around and just get angry.
Yeah.
Even when he doesn't have the rage of the Mad Hatter's sister's blood in his eye, he is just such a fucking angry dipshit.
Everyone in that show is like that. Let's just be honest. But yeah,
he's the most though. He's now he's superpowered. Now he's throwing dudes out of buildings.
I'm certain he will die soon.
Because
Michael Chiklis has to go on tour with his dad rock band.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So he's got to go do that.
They're missing a great. Look, they're going to miss a great opportunity if they miss it with the season big opener by not having him score Jim going to wherever in Alabama that Leslie was living,
or something.
Yeah, and to her bayou home to go look at her window and have him score with his his dad rock.
Yeah.
But when he's leaving, when he has to leave, whether if he dies or if they they're shipping off his corpse to become to space to become the Thing.
Yeah.
They can play that song.
I really hope they do send him out to some sad Michael Chiklis rock. That'd be amazing.
Chick rock. Okay.
Yeah.
So so they're like, all right, well, we got to do this stuff, and then it just happens that Thorn is there in her,
AKA Rose.
Rose.
In her civilian persona, is also a nurse at this hospital.
Sure is.
But so it says that she went to jail, and they said they cured her, but all they actually did was give the Thorn persona control over both personas and the ability to switch back and forth between them at will.
Yeah.
So she picks up the phone and is going to make a call.
What, to herself?
I don't know. See, she's picking up the phone. I don't know what she's doing.
So they're looking for me. It's like, well, that's not a surprise. I got to have extra surprise or two. Or is she calling her men in green suits? Is she calling Andy Serkis?
She is. She's like, hey, are you guys done filming The Great Wall?
She's totally calling Andy Serkis. They're
really confusing the fuck out of everybody who sees that trailer going, what? Are those geckos? What are those?
Yeah, just wait till you see this trailer, guys.
It's a bit much.
It looks like a dumb movie. I mean, go see it if you want to see it.
Well, sure. I mean, I bet it is visually arresting.
Yes, that should be. That's a good way to describe.
I would definitely
things.
say that Doctor Strange was visually arresting.
Doctor Strange was quite good,
and I did enjoy Doctor Strange.
I enjoyed Doctor Strange a lot.
I did.
Anyway. So Huntress
gets bubbled.
Gets bubbled, and then she happens over and she opens the door.
And she's back at their headquarters. She opens the door and she's like, "Oh no!
Oh no!"
Then we cut back to, I don't know what the Flash is doing. What are they doing right here?
Well, they go back. Well, they're leaving. I think they're still leaving. I think they're still leaving the hospital or the morgue or whatever.
Oh, is it taking them that long? Like, it really looks like Green Lantern is just like...
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're still leaving the hospital.
He looks like he's trying to magic shit, even though I know that Green Lantern does not do that.
He's just opening doors, and it just happens that...
he's pushing through doors.
Yeah, these are double doors.
That's what that is. It literally looks like he's conducting a spell.
No.
At least from here it does.
You know what? I could totally understand. I could totally see that.
Yeah.
So he gets out, and it just happens that Thorne and her anti-circuses are there, and they're...
and then they start fighting. They punch Flash in the face.
You know, and a lot.
And then guess who shows up? Sportsmaster.
Yeah, what the fuck is Sportsmaster doing here?
I don't know. Sportsmaster also has a really hilarious mask, because I've seen it where he has like an umpire mask,
right?
Which makes sense. He's literally wearing a baseball cap with a veil that falls down in front of his face.
He's wearing a baseball cap with a baseball on it.
Yes, it has a baseball
to represent baseball.
It.
FYI, for being the Sportsmaster, he is mostly baseball. Because he's literally walking in with a baseball cap.
And he's got like the catcher's, when you're a catcher.
He has a catcher. He kind of like his catcher, like his out. Like
what is that called?
It's
whatever pad the catcher wears.
Yeah, it's a catcher's guard.
You
and
know
he's
what
got,
I'm talking about.
He got on this, but he looks like he's wearing that like as a vest.
Yeah,
like an actual vest.
He's got a bat in his hand.
He's got bat. He's got balls. They're flash grenades. He's throwing them. Green Lantern's hitting them with his green bat.
Yep.
You know, and then Thorne and you know, and it's funny because Wonder Girl's trying to like.
Or you mean Power Girl?
Power Girl's trying to like jump in and do stuff, and like Green Lantern just keeps kind of like stepping on her shit.
Yeah, they kind of both do actually. Flash kind of does it a little bit later here which is dumb because she's stronger than both.
Yeah,
of
I know
them.
she can't. She's like she says this multiple times. She's like, I can't be harmed by these things.
Right? She's like, I'm good.
Power Girl.
She's like you two are vulnerable. I'm fucking Power Girl.
And they're literally jumping in front of these things.
Yeah, they're just not listening at all. And so, like...
Superhero mansplaining.
Yeah, pretty much. They're like, I need to save you. She's like, no, really, you don't. I'm literally the least vulnerable person here.
Right.
So... what was Power... Was there something that the Earth 2 Power Girl was vulnerable to?
Oh, I don't know.
I
don't know that much about Power Girl.
No, I don't know either. There was something.
I mean, maybe it was. Maybe she was, but maybe at some point. I have to look this up. She had I remember reading 0 Hour, and she had like a baby, and she was wearing a sweater, or she was she was pregnant. I don't even know what the hell came up. If she even had the baby.
Oh, I have no idea.
Power Girl's got a string.
There's another one where like. She's a clone of Supergirl, but like accelerated to be an adult, and like I don't understand her story.
Yeah,
or like what Earth we're on to try to figure out which story goes with which Earth. But anyway, so they're fighting. It's
funny. Okay, so there's this one great one where it looks like it best to be described that Green Lantern gets KO'd by Sportsmaster. From what it looks to appear, shooting his wooden bat out of his dick.
It really does look like he is. He's got a spring dick, and that is in the shape of a bat, and it shoots off from his crotch and whacks Green Lantern in the face.
Yeah, Green Lantern looks like he's like. Arr! He looks like Jim Carrey here too. He's like. Arr!
Yeah, and honestly, it's like there's a pink, like trail from where the bat.
Yeah.
Originated, and then where the bat is, like a little trail to say like this is where it went.
Yeah.
It literally looks like it's coming out of his crotch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Dick bat.
It's dick bat. And it whacks Green Lantern in the face.
Yeah.
And then
So they get
Flash.
So they get sunned, and then she runs.
They really do.
Yeah, they get their ass handed to them, and then they run out.
Because Flash, again, she's like, no, Flash, don't step in front of me. And he's like, I will. And he does, and he gets his ass knocked to the ground.
Yeah, but thankfully...
Power Girl's like, Jesus fucking Christ, you guys.
But they leave, and it just... But thankfully, they were able to get one of her thorns.
Yes. The doctor, who happens to pick right now to show up, not call security or anything. He just was watching the fight, I'm assuming.
Well, I don't think he needs security if he's got these people.
Well, maybe. And so they would help. And so they're like, hey, you got a thorn. That's so great. Now we just have to wait on Huntress for her to bubble her way back here. How does she get back?
Oh, I don't know.
How do you get back?
You know what? She's going to have to ask her mom for a ride. Who's her mom? Say her mom's name. No. Okay.
Mom's dead.
Oh, mom's dead. Oh, she got no way. She got the Uber back.
She's going to have to Uber.
Bad Uber.
She's going to have to bad Uber.
Her dad's not there.
No, he's dead.
His dad can call. Yeah, is it Robin? Robin's there.
I actually don't know what happened to Robin once Huntress showed up. I have no idea.
Because there was some. No, they were doing stuff. They were hooking up, I think.
I don't know.
Because I think in Crisis, I think they're like together.
Is it in this Earth? There's definitely...
No, it's in whatever Earth this takes. On Earth 2 or whatever.
Helena Bertinelli and Dick Grayson fuck. Because I have that.
Well, right, but I'm saying, but in Crisis, I'll have to go back and look it up.
I don't know about that.
I think I'm right.
Maybe. You might be. I don't actually really know what happened to Dick Grayson on Earth 2.
Guys, if you're listening, if you don't already hate us for talking about the government, give us shoot us an email if you'd like to correct us. We actually got another. We
did.
We have a look. If you want email stuff to the show, if you're a fan of our show and you want to email us, please send an email to Sean@SideshowNetwork.tv.
Yeah,
you could do that. That would be hip.
Totally.
So yeah, you can. We'll
we
sort
do.
stuff out.
Again, it was. I don't know where my phone is.
What?
Oh, I was gonna shout that guy out again.
Oh, well, let me see here.
Comic Resource.
Well, you go ahead here. You go ahead.
Oh yeah. So anyway, we're in whatever their headquarters is, and it is Helena Wayne / Huntress is completely useless because there's booby traps everywhere, and she's like, even I can't.
There's a giant guillotine coming from the ceiling.
Yeah, she's like, even I can't
trap.
get past all these, and I'm like, your father would be ashamed.
Yeah, you're bad. You're really bad.
Oh my god, Batman would be so fucking ashamed if she couldn't get through this stuff. And it turns out that it's the original Huntress who is dressed like a cheetah woman, tiger woman.
I thought she looks like. I thought she was Cheetah, but I was like, oh, that's right. The original Huntress looks like Cheetah.
Yeah, she's real weird looking. She kind of looks like she's a circus strong woman.
Comic Reflections. That's right.
That's it.
Comic Reflections @Comic Reflection on Twitter.
Yeah, very knowledgeable. Thank you very much for all of your help.
This cat loves
this
cat loves to correct us in the most generous ways.
It's so kind, and we are such idiots. So thank you.
This is actually something. You know what? This is actually something
so much.
You know what? And this is actually something that I think ties in. Ties into our. It's a very this Robin thing. We're trying to figure out because most importantly, we have to figure out how she gets a ride back.
Well,
I don't want to.
I'm assuming Uber. I mean, how else is she going to get a ride back?
Cabs.
So that's it. So you see, original Huntress is like balancing on a ball.
Yeah. She's bouncing on a giant jawbreaker.
And there's like a guillotine and like a bear trap.
She looks very, even for like a 1970s.
Oh, she looks
woman,
ridiculous.
She looks ridiculous. Like just like she's got. I mean, she's jacked as.
That's
fuck.
what I mean. She looks like a circus strong woman.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Yes.
That's exactly what she looks like. She's got a cape. And I don't know. And Helena's just like,
yeah, she sucks.
And so she's terrible. And then it's just like, next issue.
Wildcat's on he's pretty much dead.
Wildcat's dead. And then there's like a question mark.
With Dr. Fate and Hawkman, apparently.
So does that mean Dr. Fate shows up next issue?
Probably. Yeah. What does it say in the next issue box?
Oh, I don't know.
It says
I don't read the next issue box.
I don't, I can't read. Anyways, so that's it for All-Star Comics number 72 from June
1978.
June 1978. Mm-hmm. Real quick, we have a nice little thing here where they on the DC would have like their bullpen bulletin kind of thing, and it's the Daily Planet, like this direct currents or whatever, and they would just run through all the stuff that's coming up. And one of my favorite things is Holy shit, Mr. Miracle was still being done back then? Jeez.
Apparently.
How about that? I think it was bi-monthly at that point. So they have like Ask the Answer Man, and they ask like, what happened to the Spectre? What happened to this person? What happened over? And one of my favorite questions here, because I don't fucking I don't understand how this works, but how did John Ross find out that Clark Kent is Superman? A few things here. First of all, John Ross, Pete Ross's son.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Also, the way that the fucking editor would should catch this, it says John Ross. Okay, John Ross, capitalized. John, capital Jon, capital Ross. Find. The next word, find, is also capitalized.
Oh.
It's like John Ross Find. Is that his name? John Ross Find.
Maybe that's his name.
Anyways, answer. Superman told him when John was dying of a rare disease to give the boy a will to live.
I don't understand how that would give fucking anybody a will to live. I know Clark Kent and Superman. I have no will to live.
And then that'd be like if like when I was sick with cancer and you were like, Sean,
I'm gonna introduce
Sean. I brought Triple H over.
His real name
is he's like, hey, my name is Paul. Hey, my name is Paul Levesque, and he just leaves, and I'm like, live.
Would that be sure? Okay, let's be honest. If
you'd have to get a lot of wrestlers to come tell me their real names, just like line them up and just have them sign in and just be like a Congo line. It's like Saul Ziggler is Nick Nemeth. Mark Henry is Mark Henry. Yeah.
So, like, would that have given you strength, or would you need like more?
I would actually probably need their social security numbers, and their personal emails.
I need more information.
I need their bank accounts.
Would it be enough? Is it kind of like? Is that like a Make-A-Wish type thing?
Yes.
Is that kid? All he wanted to know was Superman's
Well, they would
identity?
pull that, but they would pull that. That was like a thing they did on like I think on a Brave and the Bold or like Jimmy Olsen pulled that shit all the time on him.
What? He's like, I'm dying?
He'd be like, I'm dying. Tell me your name. And he'd be like, and then like, Superman would be like, you're not dying, Jimmy. Goodbye.
I think that's why Superman and Jimmy Olsen are such good friends, because they're both horrible people.
Oh, yeah.
Who are just awful
Yep.
to everyone around them.
Yep. Thanks for listening, folks. You can find me on Twitter at Angry Hero Sean, also on Instagram at Angry Hero Sean, and my Tumblr, theangryhero.tumblr.com.
And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram, jenstansfield.tumblr.com, and jenstansfield.wordpress.com.
And you can find the show on iTunes, SideshowNetwork.tv. You can find us on all of our all the Twitter,
all the places,
Stitcher, TuneIn, all those places.
All
so wherever you get your podcast apps, and please
all over the
rate and review.
web.
You can please rate on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. Leave us a review. Tell us if you like it. Tell us if you don't. Whatever you want to do. It's it's all you guys, and we really appreciate it. So thanks for listening, folks, and we will see you again next week.
And be kind to each other. Okay. Bye.